Mash ends up in Magia Lupus' stronghold. Abel recognizes him as the student that got a gold coin and asks him on why he wants to be a divine visionary. And Mash explains that it's because he wants to live peacefully with his family. Abel explains that divine visionaries are vessels of God's divinity, and if Abel becomes a divine visionary, he will return the world to its rightful form. Humanity flourished because they devoured and used the weak, however now they are sheltering them and fighting for equality. He states that humans are beasts, and the law of nature is that the strong devour the weak. Mash understands his words as that he too wants to live in peace. Abel takes his words as hostility, but Mash apologizes as it wasn't his intention. Abel agrees to let Mash go in exchange of his gold coin, but Mash refuses. Abel then attacks him using Silva's puppet. Mash slams the puppet on the ground, cutting its cords, which reverts Abel's magic and returns Silva back to human. Mash doesn't find the puppet to be of challenge, but then another bigger and stronger puppet grabs him from behind. Mash is surprised by its strength, and only watches it as it takes his coin and throws it at Abel. After the puppet releases Mash, he ends up stepping on Silva, and decides to take him to the nurse office. Abel wonders if he is giving up on his coin and Mash explains that he isn't, but it's prioritizing Silva. But no matter how strong Abel is, Mash doesn't intend on losing. After Mash leaves, Abel feels something isn't right. He then notices that his puppet is missing a button. He checks the coin he got and sees it's the button. One of the Magia Lupus members, Love Cute, isn't sure what she saw is real. The moment the puppet threw the coin, she saw Mash rip the puppet button with his mouth and spit it at such speed that it catch up and hit the gold coin. After that, Mash used his lungs to suck up the coin. Silva wakes up at the nurse office and has no memories of anything after he became a doll. He sees Mash on the floor exercising and guesses that he brought him here and wonders why. Mash states that when one of them is in trouble, they all are in trouble, but ends up biting his tongue and leaves after that. Back at Adler's room 302, Lance and Dot are staring at each other. Finn wonders what are they doing in his room and wants them to leave. Lance and Dot get annoyed by each other and start arguing and prepare to fight. Mash then comes in breaking the door and tells them that if they intend to break something, to go outside. Moments later, Lemon bringing bad news and asks them to come with her. She takes them to the magic scale that displays how many gold coins each dorm has and points out that Lang dorm has 15 gold coins, while the other two dorms has 1 gold coin each. Lang has been taking the other dorm coins and all Adler upperclassmen that could stop them are away for off-campus internship. At this rate, Lang dorm will produce the next divine visionary. Orca dorm are devoted to their research, which leaves only Adler to try and stop Lang Mash. Lance and Dot then agree to do it. Wahlberg needs to reprimand Mash for his action, even if it's just superficial, and puts him on cleaning the owl's hut for 1 week. Lance decides to join Mash and help him, as it's possible that Lang attacked Mash. At the same time, 2 Magia Lupus members, Olor Andrew and Ansa Shinri, are heading towards Mash to obtain his coin. The two then attack Mash and Lance. Olor uses Sea Field, creating small sea area under Mash and making him fall in it. Ansa uses Shurikith and throws a large shuriken at Lance, but he dodges. The Magia Lupus members then introduce themselves and explain that they are there for their gold coin. Mash complains that he can't swim, but Olor tells him to not worry as he will join him soon. He then uses Sea Shark and turns himself into a shark and jumps into the water with Mash. Ansa again uses Shurikith on Lance, who easily dodges, and seeing that Ansa uses magic to only control the shuriken, he realizes he will easily stop him with his gravity magic. However, just before he casts it, he sees some owls around Ansa and stops, since his sister may complain that he hurt them. Ansa uses Shurikith double, and seeing owls behind him, Lance decides to take on the attack. Ansa recognizes that Lance is from the Crown family due to his magic wand. He heard that the eldest son ran off, but he can't believe he was that weak. Lance uses Graviol, but only causes a shovel to fall. Ansa then explains how good it feels to overwhelm the weak. He uses Shurikith triple, but feels something is off. He then notices that all the owls are gathered on one place. Lance then uses Graviole, which makes the shurikens hit the ground and break. Lance explains that the owls were in a way, so he had to move them. Ansa then realizes that he used the shovel to open a bag of feed, which lured all owls there, and that he wasn't attacking him all this time because he was worried about the owls. Angry, Ansa brings out a new shuriken and attacks with large shuriketh, his strongest spell, but it gets easily smashed by Graviole. Lance states that those who fight for themselves never stand a chance against his determination to save his little sister. Meanwhile, Olor is in his sea field, laughing that Mash can never escape his endless sea. Suddenly something passes by him with a large speed, but he refuses to believe that could be Mash, since humans can only swim at maximum 10 kilometers per hour. Mash again passes by him, shocking Olor and recalling that Mash said he can't swim. Mash then passes by again and states he actually could swim more than he thought. Seeing Mash swimming around him, Olor thinks that this is how it must feel when he hunts other people. He decides to become serious and uses Sea Shark evolution, transforming himself into a monstrous shark. However, Mash starts punching him and easily defeats him. Lance takes a gold coin from Olor, feeling that if Magia Lupus are this strong then have a chance. Another Magia Lupus member, Abyss Razor, shows up, stating that they are jumping to conclusions. In an instant, Abyss then gets behind Mash and Lance. Lance uses Graviole, but realizes he can't use magic. Mash prepares for a dash. Abyss tries to explain that he is there only to take their allies, however Mash rushes at him and attempts to punch him, since he is quite menacing. In an instant, however, Abyss teleports behind Lance, dodging Mash's attack. He apologizes for being menacing, but wanted a small glimpse and is only there to retrieve his allies. Abyss then leaves, stating they will meet another day. Lance takes his words back and states that crushing Magia Lupus would be worthwhile. Outside, Abyss notices that his mask cracks. He notes that Mash had incredible speed and no magic, which makes him the same type as him.